soha Deyata Om Bekanze Maha Bekanze Ratna Samukate soha Namo Sarva Tathagate Hatebe Samyak Sambhutebe Namo Aryavalokite Shoraya Bodhisattvaya Mahasatvaya
It's very good.
Yeah.
How you doing, sir?
Good, good.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Hope to see you again in the fall.
All right, okay.
Prayer book? Page number 1, I guess. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and of nations, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of Ansarvapa's perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and of nations, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of Ansarvapa's perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood.
Chido son ma je je parado lunga ye son ge wa la gor ma je parado lunga ye son ge wa la gor and de ne son de ne ma san da son je
Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. In the Buddha, the Dharma, in the Sangha, most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
Vada nyambe samjen damje dewa thai devi judan dembare chur je dongara dan dongara ke judan dewa chur je dongara mebe dewa Nyambe samjen damje dewa dan deve judan dembare chur je dongara dan dongara ke judan dewa chur je dongara mebe dewa dan amen dewa chur je nyeren chadai nidai tewe danyong lai nebar chur je.
May all mother sentient beings, boundless in the sky, have happiness in the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering in the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Domen zomlen jen tabe dong song yong lai cha zorme jarwa dor jen chang pan je dan gong be xiao lan de an de da de sam je jie le me qian jie lo xian tu jie jian Nyingpo mamba zene jiang sam do de zo do bar Angelo.
Unable refuge, ornament of the world, your fame pervades the 3,000 worlds. You are the victor, Raja Dara, without doubt. I bow at the feet of Father Jidun Sungun. Continually I think of no one but you. Compassion
And your blessings dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I may realize the unliberated nature of mind.
Aboje Jojen Lado Jera Ling Niende Jambande Sanje Shenla Mede Puwayen Doga Nandai Shengde Jubai Shuomai
The ground is sprinkled with scented water and is strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the supreme mountains, the four continents, and the sun and moon. As the Buddha felt, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fields. Dagini Ratna Mandalam Pradinja Soham
Namje Zamba Loye Cheda Chedawa Chejon Dumon Devaye Chojem
Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to the dispositions and likewise to the mental capacities of sentient beings.
Dangedo Jajare Zondo Shenjame Todu Jabunjambo Serjalimbo Dawra Jivik Shaji Jarbi Shala Kujanzi Tumi Wazara Toji Jinguru Madiki Jingu Chedawa Tamji Seva Kunjan Chujij Yamindi Gumrinja Kujanzi Yumi Chuji Yangja Porondu Tum Sanje Kunjingu Ni Rosum Chupung Usum Pongzibi Zavi Lami Shala Kujanzi Kanda Jojo Dong Kenji Dena Dirke Longmar Chirwa Kang Soda Dender Dongbi Jojen Joran Bebo Sembran Dowa Damjin Dere Yeje Namo Arya La Yege Dang Lu Dang No Jiki Ye Chum Da Dang Mi Yege Na Dowa Gunje Daki Che Zamba Tam Jiki Da Da Ke Chu Den Do. Good morning. Tenda Angado zo leka kare ji chu duguyo nare ji leka kandi gleguyo nate tambo te gulong te kechembores tene ta gulong sena dumbar senare chona tamji jenshin den dumbe ze la rapne sona ta zo karsena ji le gulong pella tene tene 제 군용 삼보요나 길레가 가리나 양 계획 조선도야 제가 양제 군용텔라 제가 용모바 군들랑데 이렇게 군용요나 근데 매개와 조선도와 어떤 이제 차들서 지디스 효디 this 뭐나
Whatever activity we engage in our Dharma practice, the motivation is always very important. It is said that all phenomena rely on the condition of like the aspiration or one's motivation, the intention. And so if one's intention is positive, then whatever you do becomes virtuous. And if the mind is motivated by afflictive emotions, then whatever you do becomes non-virtuous.
我的点的这当开始呢就古龙是呀的啦但我做开钱不赢吧的，但古龙的啦就他你空虚个那一类，那个开来为那样个就前辈给这些呢，是吧？就变到恰下为呢我做摩托车当有为呢，那个就control 经验的开始呢 steering wheel，you know， 开完路过呢，他个那一个就다 브레이크 요라고 더나이 이게 ngazo leka khandije lege yobe na yang ji sem ke kulong de ko tse sin de ba ji rawa sem ke kulong ji rangyan do mando wa thindi ma to be ke ta ngazo ta chamne ngazo kulong thindi ya yabo yong yore ko ji automatically yene yang chamre de ko rangi ke ji 다 통다 전부 요나미나 지 삼삼 굴롱한테 rangi ke 굴롱 냠바 테 샤르는 거와 대인도 이제 굴롱 냠바 샤르베 까블라 되네 굴롱도 쪼을 거야 템베게 제신 바로와 템베 제신도 되네 템바당 희인게 고 제신 바페나 모탄도 당비나 아주 가완로고 요나 되네 지 카티니 초거와 어때 초거야 돼 템베 제신고 요사래 대가 나기 템베 제신 라베 까블라야 지 휴지 그 리짓 당가 템베 제신 틴디 마인 봐 또 갈세나特种的 초지도 초 간디치고나 곰자기 요나래 야 갈세 거래다 지 넘반 동구 요나래 간디 지 제그 요비나야 되네 다 샘랑와 송도와 샘랑와들이 제지리 깔래 카보래 얘나다 단다지 relative level 카톡 너 잠깐만이나 this 샘도 솔로 너지 고고요다 총레카리기 요나래 야면 전한게 직범자기 요나래 넘반 동구 요나래 뭐다 틴디지 고 샘티지 소보 너지 고고요다 삼랭가 소지 레카로 레고나 레카 코라야 베티와 차오 레카드니 용즈그로 레카든 조보 차고도 레카데 삼거리 이나야 고 레카 랭한테 라바차디 요로와 티인두 고 가시 티톨라 샘게 남탄도 오제다 레카든 조보 차고도 삼나 차토고 말해 거기서 가서 포커스 티토고 말와 티인두 고 탐보디다 지금 가서 추땡사보 하마오나 야 지 샘랑와 샤즈도 칸디스 샤그리 사코미위나 근데 지 가서고 지 내가 가는 곳 주고요나 알아와 디네카라 데려와 타딕 럭도 서 타딕 다 남준도 있는 가서 타딕 지럽도 잘라 지 내가 지 칼라지 소유나 타딕 같이 거래 아주 던다오 카팅 본다오 근데 고그러와 뭐 텐나 이게 나서 레카 레버치와 타데데 카르고 거스나 방법이 서로 나오지 그러와 곰자 랍딜라다 다니가서 냠나치 랍디 람상 코나 페찬다오지 로고요레 베셔 로고요 디네 디냠톨라 코치 셈티 서로 나오지 that 제시는 망라서
So the motivation is very important, and so whatever activity one engages in that requires some application of mindfulness. For example, when you're driving a car, then to control the direction, you're turning the steering wheel when you're using the brakes and so on. So you're engaging in the activity with mindfulness, with a mental presence. So, and then the same presence we need when we cultivate a good motivation. And so maybe sometimes a good motivation just arises automatically, but sometimes for no good reason, we just do not have a great motivation. And if that's the case, then we have to kind of turn it around, change that with mindfulness, just like steering the car into the right direction with a kind of mindfulness. But then on the other hand, also we don't want to have a completely rigid mind, thinking that I have to be so mindful. And so whatever Dharma we practice, whether we are meditating or doing some recitations, the mind should be actually in a natural state, rest in a natural state. And that may be difficult on the relative level. We have to sort of place our mind very directly in this relaxed state. But whatever activity we engage in, whether we are meditating or doing some recitation or other activity, the mind needs to be relaxed. And when we do something, then often we get very busy doing that, and we want to finish our activity quickly. But then it's the hands, for example, that perform the activity. But if the mind is all rushed, then it can't really focus on completing the activity. And so if one doesn't have a very profound understanding of the Dharma, one might not know how to settle the mind in this natural state. And so, like with any other activity, it requires some preparation. So, for example, if you're preparing food or you're doing some other activity, you need a few things for preparation. For example, you need a knife, cutting board, and so on. So the first preparation to have when we practice is to have a relaxed mind. So when we engage in a practice and we start right with the text, we start reciting the text, but at the same time, together with that, we also need to have a relaxed mind.
我听你在那么东周就有了东，这里没几个，他可能拉萨人周有啥的哇，拉萨人周有啥的，他拉萨那个唐波人周有什么的哇，他他人不肯定还可以有什么的，这里可能个他给这几天有的哇，哦，他拉萨了他人不开始有的，他个听广大的呢，拉萨了拉萨这边拉有的哇，这拉的。这可能个，他人不晓得要嘛的，其他拉是laptop图的，伊那样确让可怜着呢，他人拉是laptop的是，伊那样确让脚本着呢，他人拉是laptop嘛的是laptop要的哇，这laptop他人可没提个什么就当要的哇，哦，可看了个要是，他没提看啥的是。ko kale ndo na lhasa lepsa res njobo ndo na lhasa lepsa maris ta khensa re ta ko njobo ndo shanta ko lamsan le guyo sa re zam tene ko pe thiwan ndo chi ngamra chi ne tene ndo yorwa ten ndo be kabla tene khoran yang thang chi tene ko te ta tene yo sa wa ta ta tene thi ndo tene yo sa to chama thang chi tene lhasa le yo ma res thi so ndo je ta nga to thondan ndo go yo na ko ji khari na chu ina re ji ken na nya de ko ji ko 지 somebody 가두이는 홀로도지 다 참사 레카랑 가서 담다로 고 circumstance 레카 가시 람상 차고야 안도 가서 willing to 람상 차고야 요래 가시게 가서는다 고 유코랑라 때는 되네 지다고 보시나 칸에 올레카다 람상 차고 그래서 야도 다고 까도 땅거와 이내야다디 고 가서 no choice로와 이내야 그 샘기 때는 가서 다 choice 요래 되니 다 티와이나래 가지이나래 그 샘기 지 홀로 흘러자대 되니 마데와지 고고여서다
There was a story about a person who who wanted to go to Lhasa. He never went to Lhasa before, so he didn't know how far it actually is. So he asked the person, he asked them, so if I leave today for Lhasa, do you think I will get there by tonight? How far is it? And the other person said, it's not too far. If you go slowly, you can get there today. However, if you go quickly, you won't get there today. So then he was thinking, that's a little bit strange. Why would I get there if I go slowly, but not get there if I go quickly? So then he thought it can't be that far. And he hurried up and he went really quickly. And very quickly he became really tired. And then also his horse and other animals, they also got exhausted. And so then in the end, nobody could go. And so they didn't get there. And that's why they didn't get there. So whatever we do, whether it's a Dharma activity or mundane activity, it's always important to have a relaxed mind. Because in this, of course, it depends on the circumstance, whatever we do. Sometimes we really don't have much of a choice. For example, if our boss tells us to finish something quickly, depending on the circumstance, sometimes we just have to quickly finish something. So we don't have a choice over our outer circumstance, but we do have a choice over the state of our mind. And so therefore, it's important to choose choose to have a mind that is relaxed.
我在这里的 same， 在这个是可以全部修的，他其他我做的的，他其实是忙不接去好高要的，听到我做的namba上街吧，那个namba是那个namba的，他其他绕去呢，这个。Kingdom na doa ta Buddhism rola guyore ina yang thanda di ta phobe ki tula namba seya ke chekte ta ngarang ngone permissive ke ta thonda scenario cha chimbu hyuje churguyo tindu ta ti khalla guyore sena nga soji namjun do ina ta peche mena ta peche 100% lamdan dik marwa ngone chi 80-90% 가르치는 것도 지유라 파다 되기와 파다 지테네 즉 유틀라테는 다그 judgmental 유틀라직 right wrong good bad 다 간데 있는 약보 두번 다 간데 있는 유트 장장 즉 섬노 땅고래 되네 현의 장장 섬노 땅고래 유틀 다 되기와 대인도 당가서 namba slabdu karsati yut mateba katso ten rong so katso lo ne ta nazi ngaso ngarang sem na karchigido so ta tet keche moteda the key point namba sayade telagdo ngaso da namba sina insider stay ta ngaso kan nang lo ne 다야데 개침부레스
And so that's another important point, and you might know about this. But so we have this term Buddhism, a Buddhist. In Tibetan, it is Nangba. Nangba means literally, actually. So Nang is inside, Nangba is an insider. And so personally, I feel that this is very meaningful, a very meaningful way of referring to Buddhist or Buddhism. Now, normally, our mind is focused outward. So we cannot say maybe for 100% of the time, but perhaps 80 to 90% of the time, we are only focused outward. We're looking at outer objects and we are judging them. We are judgmental and call them right or wrong and good and bad. And all we really think about is others or outer objects. So we are projecting outward. And this word Nangba, Buddhism or Buddhist, means to not look outward, but look inward, turn inward and look at my own mind. What is my own mind doing? So that's a really the important key point, actually, and which is actually conveyed through the name Nangbao Buddhist itself. So it's very important.
That thing also reality, penanga da nyomomba la gore da nyomombe ke nyomomba la tene tene ngaso tikin drivete da gange yongu yore madewa yongu yore pena cha shawina tene benanga so hedanda oji landewe kala tene ngaso ge lusem ninja la tene tongdowa lusem ninja la debo mewa 양고 학파드게 배 컨트롤 첨본도 올라요나 되네 샘팅하고 거지 황신의 매원으로지 찬도고래 디인도 당가서 섬노지 당지 오다 뇽가서 지금 넘바 상지비 개념의 친구이나 제다 해당세야의 약보면도 섬그러와 약보면도 해당티게 그 해당람비케다 줄을 때네 단 제베데 강의 용게도 대보면도 섬그러와 대하코베 까울라 당에 당기 공투슈바나 이리 나도 뭐 신바지 해당라야 매자 나서 소토고 말와 매지 해당라야 매바 매지 해당라야 매 소토고 말 이내야 당가서 타이 와 타이 투 코 마시지 해당 매와서야 아머니 해당 매와서야 뭐좀 해당 매와서야 이거야 그러나 요 말에 때문에 그 매지 해당 매와서 토고 말에 다 텐데인도 다 디탄다디 대요와 가서디 준조 그나나 숭바티 지파지 따테레 따티인도 당아초게 따티야나 가르치고 있으나 랑sem데 해당매와 소토비나 되는 거는 유창만 해당매와 소차라 랑 해당 말하나 되네 그 노용 말와 되는데 되네 당이 가나한테로네 저도다 나 해당랑 그러와 해당랑와 telde네 해당매와 송다 전전노 송바레 가서 송도와 사차데솔라베 설망라고다 도로고다다 사차데오매와 텐디도 텐디다 저 설마 텐디매와 소야라 텐디 베 차사야 참마 고에 요라나 가서 고가 간다야 요 말와 이나야다 함티잠지 고요나 송레 다 랑게 휴스야보제 요나테네 저랑 가완로나 그 프레션 차데기로와 테나 이게 지금 랑게 셈데 해당 말하면이나 그거 가세거다 단기 기랑 해당 람비게 인디우 그 강의대 용토고요 말이스.
And so the reality is that through the afflictive emotions, as a result, we experience difficulty and unhappiness. When you get angry, for example, then both your body and your mind become disturbed and unwell, and that is in particular the case if the anger is very, very strong. And so as a Buddhist practitioner, we understand that anger is not a good thing. And we understand that as a result of anger, we will encounter suffering, difficulty. But mostly we project outward, as I mentioned before. So we look at somebody else's anger, and when somebody else gets angry, and we can't bear that. So we want to eliminate that. We want to eliminate others' anger. But even if we try to eliminate everyone's anger, there will always be somebody else with anger. We can't really eliminate other people's anger. So what we should do instead is look inward at our own anger. And if we are able to eliminate our own anger, then we have already eliminated all the anger on the outer level from our own perspective. In the Bodhicharyavatara, it says, for example, if you imagine the entire ground is the earth is covered in thorns and rocks and an uneven surface. If you could try to cover the entire ground with leather, but you wouldn't have enough leather. So why not wear leather shoes, so that wherever you go, you won't have any difficulty. And so similarly, if you eliminate the anger in your own mind, then you will also not experience the result of suffering, that the result that would come from anger.
다 딘데인데 다 여탕에서 용맘과 단다 해당다 왜 딘데리 제가 나 얘기 맞아 대사모 땅 거래다 조가 단기 공주가 나 얘리 나서 대치 도구요래 아테네 대신 종구요래 딘데인데 다 나서 대신 종구요나 테네 가레세나 셈들라 땅가서 대치고다 가세 거래 셈들라 다 가세 거래 the build of strength 와 간디 시그레스 라비나 테네 다치 유를 따져 말 당큐로와 낭셈 나 셈티게 테네 치 유라 가서다 양 고강에 마티와 테네 용구요 말에 페나 지 나초 유 사자 신바지글라비나 페나 다 레칸로레산도 소모타미나 레카테니 야보유세게레 양고 가리나다 가완로나 지 사마라고 satisfied 오단 렉도 somebody 칼레카보 휴레 대가나 이게 지다 참는 physical 되네 나타티니 용거와 대양고 지금 장신도 지게 용거요래 대인도 이나양 다 지기 유게 강행이나데 베나 physical 강행이나데 다 강다지 가서 넘버 톡베게 갈세 거지 딱 가지 셈 셈테 다 간데지 강행테 그 요베이나양 되는 가서지 디게 가 overpowered 마인바 지 셈게 거랑 갈세 거다 누판도지 제 돔도지 제네 강타 양 되는 가서 셈게 땡네지 데려와 지 대화 당 희와 드리지 그 말라게 타기 치그래 다티 말라야게 타기 간디지 치그래 라비나 간디지 종미나 아이고 계산마디 나디그래 삼바지라와 드리지 요비나 드네 다다 빼면서 개첨보래 드리지 레로요 말에 이내야다 드리지 개처럼 가르메고 가리 즉 circumstance difficulties 간디요이나 저런 디그레스 안 드리지 유인투네 샘가 화차 쇼첨보지 샤비나 드네 니마지 나조드네 치유를 또 먹어 봐라 드네 즉 오늘 랑캉소 봐 손드네 즉 프리덤으로 즉 자기가 살아와 단다다 가서 하고 그래 즉 프랙티셔너이나리 대가나 얘기가 라마 자첨부 텐데라 때네 가서다 남다도 따비나 되네 즉 치유를 강에 가서 되게 요나야 나한테 샘데베 코나 니마 세겐 찍라 콘소 즉 피스도 하피도 돼 고 가세고래 라그면도 와 말하와 티니지 네트부요레스
So whatever affliction arises, for example, anger, it arises in our own mind. So we want to be happy. That's what we want to experience. And so if we want to experience happiness, then we have to look at our own mind instead of looking outward at outer objects, at what other people, for example, are doing and so on. So if you not too much focused on the outside, but more on the inside, and then whatever circumstance you may find yourself in, and you would feel satisfied with that. And of course, it's very difficult to find that everything is just going perfectly on the outer level. Something will always come along. For example, you experience some physical pain, some physical illness, or some other external circumstance that is difficult, or in your mind you may have some worries in your mind and so on. But whatever difficulty you might encounter, and don't give the power to this external circumstance, but develop the power from within the mind, and try not to lose your inner peace and your inner happiness. And so how can we not lose that? For that, it's very important to feel a sense of contentment, that things are just fine. And of course, that's not easy, to think that, especially when you have experienced some difficult circumstances, just to think it is all fine. But the point is that if you develop a strong imprint of that, a habitual tendency of that everything is fine, that then one day you will no longer need to depend on what happens on the outer level anymore. And so in this way, you really attain some freedom. And now when we look at great practitioners or very precious lamas, for example, what is the state of their mind in the face of outer difficulties? They do not lose their peace and their happiness for even a second. They are able to always dwell in that peace and happiness.
Oda tindu tanda songdo jitsu mileke kar song lana tene bom ta yatanti tel song re nyama pedal bom correcta aloma nyama pedal bom na tene gor song be kala tene ji ta choran gom job sho songda bom sina da to kar sina tin sa sem dembo tene ji ro ta gom ji job shos ro tene rotel 용구다 레세야데 제가서 군주다야 레라고 요 말봐. 어디네 jansodewu gom job shows. The petting ring was sure of money in these days maybe technology, they understand how deep, but Lila Omar Wadanya Manawina or Tiniji can also how cool Kasi deep in that Tedewu kitine gom job shows soon do. That the color we got Huina that tembo at the same day chi you Karimego Karido go down. Then a control Casilana control Lana major. 강연로 지 시츄에이션을 강연 가세 트비나야 그래 지 파이기 샘들라 베 요마타와 어때 들리지 라부여 살아와
When Milarepa sang a song of teaching to his disciple Padabum, he said to her, now meditate with stability, meditate on your mind like a mountain. And a mountain, for example, is something you cannot move easily. And he said, meditate on your mind like a deep ocean. And of course, in the old days, nobody really could fathom how deep an ocean is. So nowadays, due to technology, we may be able to understand the depth of an ocean, but in the past, it was hard to fathom. So then one may wonder, what is he really saying? And the point is to develop a mental stability that is not focused on the outward, the outer object. So no matter how angry somebody else may get, you wouldn't be angry. No matter how difficult it gets on the outer level, the mind remains unmoving.
So how deep in the ocean? Deepest? How many miles? Huh? 7,000?
So just over a mile deep.
Or mile deep. Okay, don't know.
36.161 feet.
36? Oh, what is feet? No, that's
36,000.
oh 36,000. Okay. Okay, okay. Okay. So now we know. I don't know. I thought they were very deep, but what I think do 티가나 이게 저원 직전 솜진 공부께 갈성 요소나 빠오 송도와 빠오 빠오 라도르스야다 저원 직전 솜공께 믹스게 담가드네 요래다 스페셜 담가라와 다 돈다데 가르송 요소나 아가선 직텐베게 지 빠오 라드 tene me shimba jigla jigpa noba tang chon dara wo jigla pa si tene chiwa tela tene pawo no love grace inati ngone pawo maris ko khaya victory ko khaya jarso yo maris ko khoraya ta no dunge yore ti kisi chon dara wo si bi na ti ke si bi ke nami yang kange nyang gre tiga 있다 가서 렌데트 졸라 휴와 남이 kindewe tene nyoma jintu chipa jintu tene wang kindewe seya tende nami nyongo gres chorang kepsan khang ra yo mares ngone chinan jikten beke hero seya de ko yabo samotang wina hero mares ko loser 그 팜카라디오레스 엔탕원에와 티 가르세는다 파우세야데 칸디리스 파울라토로 송도 다 초랑 뭐지 그 콩도 랑소나 초랑 그 콩도 가시 랑비이나야 근데 지 초랑라 근데 파 해당 라야 매와 대자 마지베게 랑기 주트가랑라 다동야 not losing peace happy tenije yoda da ngone pawo chawadesro ti pawo 태양한테네 거지 temporary pawo 말이다 고 permanent 도 정 pawo chawades pawo 가서 넘버 산지 바이나 practitioner이나 tindi게 되는 가서 pawo지 거래 정도
Ni lator sina mingre.
Pawo
Lator.
lator ngone te laguda but real hero the pawo ngone pawo no lagu samarela lator di ngone ko pawo pa chang resta la heta ko te gas jing pawo no lagu te mai bata ngone reta ngone kando ngaso do the examination ro highest examination PhD no jina ko pass no ro ta pawo ngone ko real become hero no cha wado
Jayden Sumgon, and he explained what like a real hero is. He gave some special instructions on that. So he said that no, there is this worldly hero, and that we as ordinary worldly people would call a hero. That is someone who is able to defeat their enemies, even kill their enemies. So a really powerful person like that. But he said that this is not the real hero, because in the end, this so-called hero doesn't really gain any victory. Because if he kills an enemy, for example, then he will still have to experience the karmic result from karma ripens in different ways. There is the result of full maturation. There is the experience corresponding to the cause, the activity corresponding to the cause. There is the dominating result and so on. So when we look at karma, then this person has no benefit whatsoever. And he's not the real hero. He's actually kind of a loser. So somebody who loses out. So what's the real hero then? The real hero, he said, is the one that even if someone faces you with hatred or anger, in your mind, you would remain without any anger. You would not lose your peace and your happiness. And this is not just like a temporary state, but it's you're always in that state. And so this is how a real Buddhist practitioner would define being a hero.
Oda Thinley indu ta nga zo sem di number sanje be ke nyamlen Thinley chibi na tene karse gore da ji tani kondo hyuwa na yiri tene jen shen la to go wa Thinley ji da rawa yonggen Thinley ji chagi yore sten ta tene da di ko chodong ro chi tene nga zo kap saba de la 야, 나도 포와 가정다 포베케 루주데 휴심바데 텐드드네 다 단한가서요. 포베케 다 단다 양초마 포와 곰베 까블라 디 visualization 디 양초지 휴긴스.
And so therefore in our mind, if one is really a Buddhism practitioner, then one is not bothered by whatever outer circumstance occurs, but one experiences inner freedom. And so now we come back to our practice of Phowa. And so yesterday I shared the historical background of Phowa, and today we will continue with speaking about the Phowa visualization.
So this we have Phowa text, page 1. Okay, so Thinley Oma Sobawa Hyoda Sarva Dharma Sobawa Hyoda Ha Sidita Kachanga Chik Chu Tamchi Tene 다 랑이 제테네 동반이도 초 송데 다 랑이 송데 단기 콘티와나 이리 샘 내처 랑이 마초바 티응오월라 임발라 임뱅오월라 테네 바 샤바레스 틴당가서 제탕라고 이나 당가서 지템베케라고 오네 랑이가 샤기요 말에 가서 쪼마라와 샘게 넘버 똑바 샘게 넘버 똑비 왕로 장장 지네 샘 쪼샤고래 텐두 다 단다디 오마 소바와 휴다 사라바다마 소바와 휴다 하 zon데다 랑이 칸인 바와 와 디간 바 샤기요레 다 랑이 칸인 바 지네티네 맞아 히데와리 비 닝보 단다지 넘버 토픽 드로다베 텐디 마인 바 라와 와테 티니제 키테네 랑이 킹올라 차고다 랑이티 가리세나 랑이 티 나네 옴베 나네 라고도 다 가서 텔라나 옴베 나네 람난 디그리 오늘 지다 가서 지 샘 넘버 또 봐먹고 지 데라고 지 레라고 요 말와 테미리다 지 동배 나리니 총버리 라고 요래 막 오늘 지 야레티 코라 지 오늘 단대케 가서 지 넘버 또 도다 샤와데 배 장승이 차위는 고 사랑 차대요 대가랑 고 사고랑 거니 인지 미니 사 심바지 도 고야 공고야 칸 사랑 차대요 얘네 양당 저지 냠len 집에 가라 맞아 단단한 사인 점도고 레라고 요 말와 사차 투고요 말이 가르치는 가서 남도 투고 지 요러와 드바지 요러와 텔레데는 고나 차투고 말 티인디 다 단단 가서 로그 장지 다 아마서 바와 휴다 서바다마 소바와 휴다 하 엄바니도 초 ombenga de 다 지고 다 되네 사차 송선 디스 레라 요러와 테마토 이래 단다 게지 동지세요 다 거네 사랑치 요 단다랑 사래 이니야다 마토베 ngola 내가 저다 되네지 사차 송선 바와다 데 엄마서 보고 휴다세야 돼 데레스
Page 1 is the mantra we discussed yesterday. Svabhava Shuddha Sarva Dhamma Svabhava Shuddha Hang. And we have said everything becomes, all phenomena become emptiness. And so the natural state of the mind is uncontrived. And so here we should settle in the true uncontrived nature of the mind. And so in a worldly, ordinary context, that does not naturally appear to us. Normally there is contrivance in the mind. There is a lot of mental fabrication. There's many thoughts in our mind. And so here we must settle into this natural place without these thoughts, without all these thoughts obscuring Buddha nature. And then from within this natural state, from within emptiness, and we arise as the deity. And of course, when there are many thoughts in our mind, that's not so easy. That's why it says from within the state of emptiness. When there's a proliferation of thoughts, then it's hard to see that we ourselves are actually the deity. And we are actually the deity, but that nature is obscured by those thick layers of conceptuality. So we cannot easily recognize our deity nature. And that is why we train the mind. So first we transform everything into emptiness. And then from within the state of emptiness, it is a little bit easier to see how we are the deity, to arise as the deity. So then in an instant, I arise as the deity from within that state. And so we actually already are then the deity, but because we have not realized that, first we purify into emptiness, and then we arise from this state of emptiness.
Oda tinduti tuga nangi kinga ta sa gom zidu na jitan dan dene ma sunu dongbe ngang le rani ge je ke jitu dur je ne jor ma sta kondo marbo pe mara gindo che na ta di zo de la de nga to la ya de ta jitan la tni ji da ngone chi nga ta ta be tang the la do ji song jing do ji kar ta yo re sena a tindi yo pe na thoba gam nga 요래 톰버가 뭔가 때 가르잖아 양면은 용모가 nga 타비케 제우 라 테네 다 자와렉nga 오다 텐디 라소비케 코란다지 베나 차니도는 탑게 송든 요발라서 오다 텐디 그 송지리 마토베다 다나가 수지 양가 소지 다 원의 리얼 먼다오지 근데 섬당고에서 말했어.
So then when we visualize the deity, so it begins so from within the state of emptiness, arises in an instant as Vajrayogini with two faces and a body the color of rubies and so on. And so this deity that appears with its various parts is like a representation of purity. So it represents a pure meaning. So for example, if the 5 dried skulls are a sign of having purified the 5 afflictive emotions, and the 5 afflictive emotions purified are the 5 Buddha families, the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. Or the 2 hands, for example, are a sign of having unified method and wisdom. So this is how we should understand the appearance of the deity. The deity does not appear just like an ordinary person.
Okay. So we are reading first Tibet, and then after that we do English. Dombe ngale rani ge jege dorje nenjora ma gondo bema rage doje Che Nyingpo za ye cha be nyam chen jian zong nge wo che wo zhong zi zai ba wo zha ji jian si ge jiao de zhou ru wa ni wu jian be na da ye zhen ba jie na bo wo zha jin ba cha ye sang jie zhe guo nam ga ra jiao ru wa 用多少都个人那边出没卡张卡当电波小用光别一节老了叫我也将别到节什么红肉是不看见了对几位人个人南巴。 陀罗爱觉陀下来讲话，塔尔摩波当日别见见见吧，个那拉让因灭吧天可别无色造我嘛，牵我啦那么哇，才年下单点吧。 但有真不怎样呢？桑尼是手边年个儿在街街巴大卫等着白马马尔巴大马西边三者等着。 让给南巴的西边我得了马尔巴三面多波藏阳线有浪爬来给我。 节奏的美样的，从我家表儿接我到位右边等到，我这边浪马引巴拉，南巴上街我把面广到马拉波这个。 在期间，全国送单电班、参单别节节见吧，仁波切这了强表节最的小别，对我让开从我搞巴了，就别浪漫浪节过我送，所以，yeah.
From within the state of emptiness, I rise in a single instant as Vajrayogini.
So page 1. So back to page 1.
From within the state of emptiness, I rise in a single instant as Vajrayogini, with 2 faces and a body the color of rubies. My main face has a passionate expression with 3 eyes and slightly bared fangs. Half of my hair is bound in a top knot, and the rest hangs freely down my back. I wear a diadem of 5 dried skulls, and above my right ear is the black face of a grunting sow. In my right hand I hold aloft toward the sky a hook knife made of copper. With my left I hold at my heart level a skull cup filled with blood and a katwanka resting against the crook of my arm. My left leg is bent up with a right foot resting against my right thigh, and my right leg is straight as I press down with my toes on the heart of a yellow corpse lying on its back. A necklace of 50 freshly severed heads is draped around my neck. I am adorned with red silks and bone ornaments. My body appears, yet is without substantial nature. Along the central meridian of its interior is the central channel, which is blue on the outside, red on the inside, and endowed with the 4 characteristics. It is about the diameter of a medium-sized arrow. The upper part extends to the aperture of Brahma, and the lower end reaches to the secret place. At the heart level, on a ledge similar to the nodal diaphragm found in a bamboo, is a 4-petaled red lotus. On its bed is the essence of my own awareness as a red sphere about the size of a single pea. It is light and vibrating on the verge of flying up. At the crown, the upper part of the central channel opens up to the aperture of Brahma like a domed skylight. Above that is the essence of my own root Lama in the form of Buddha Amitabha. He is red in color, appearing in Nirmanakaya aspect, with 3 Dharma robes and ornamented by the major and minor marks. He sits on a jeweled throne in a posture of Buddha Maitreya, with his big toe blocking the opening of the aperture of Brahma at my crown. He is surrounded by all the lineage lamas.
Okay, so so look at the page 2. So so page, I think, so count the middle line here. We said which is the no, sorry, this is the center channel, which is blue on the outside, the red inside. Tenduda karsena tanda kazan kontuwa na yiri the center channel. Jatanga to chitanda da jatan chalote dorje pamorwa. Dorje pamori, then dorje pamo induta di dorje pamo di ta na la karsena je nga cho chi supo na ro ji sha dang cha dang organ ro tini mayimba. Tini ji karse gore ta natural ro the empty space no tini chi ne yin yang ko so de ta na wa ji yogi ni so tini ji yo wa. Tela tini yogachi tini yuri ta karchang center channel tela kari yore lavina tini yar yane la ya changwo jide ta ngu kima tela wa ngu kima tela yogachi tela yang ko ka che de wa chi ta manne te tewe ko wa la chi ka som de wa oda tini ji congress tini ta
And so we mentioned yesterday also to be out of form is visualized as Vajrayogini. And then on the inside, we do not see our body as ordinarily composed of flesh, blood, bones, and the organs and so on. But there is just this natural empty space. But the body appears as Vajrayogini. And inside of that body is the central channel. And the upper part of the central channel extends to the aperture of Brahma, which is right at the center of one's crown, of one's head. And there it is open. And then on the lower level, it extends down to below the navel, where it is closed.
Tiyan tene ta jetanga tsuda de powa jambi ne kabla yang tene supo di siya ta gewa tele yang tene jiga straight chi gogruwa tena ye ke ta tene koran ke ta za oma koran yang tene tseni hetang denba sungduwa tseni hetang denba sungdu tene ji tangbo tepe tangbo yinba teta chigri tene teya na yi kang center channel data ji nga cho ting chang ke ji chala no thi mai ba pe kharse gore da transparent da flexible o thi ba ji che
So then when we train in Phowa, our body is straight, back is straight. And it says this, the central channel possesses 4 characteristics. And one is that it is completely straight. The another one is that it is transparent, so it's not like a normal object, but it's actually completely transparent and also flexible.
다 칸도 말보 동도 칸도다 갈세는 나한테라더니 지 말보 zon다 말보 태양한테니 제타한테 디스지 텔로도다 메토 땅가 히 제타한테 제식 틀로말라고도 인다 강신가 히고 로스 로르 간단히야지 the quality 지 ngato metal quality the tadang ne disti ngato chala rendo ji quality this dagyo marwa ko soft not mandawa ji yo teni teni ta khanda ko metal quality teni ketene marwa ji yores.
And then it is red on the inside, and it is just like it is supple like a flower petal, for example, the texture of a rose or a certain flower. The quality of that flower it's not the same as you would find in any object like a cotton cloth, for example. It's not the same kind of soft texture. It's a certain kind of soft texture. And so it is the texture, the quality of a flower.
Tiga na yang center chana telako chisen nang se wona woji wo your transparency.
And then the central channel is also translucent or transparent and clear.
다 딘리지 요디 다 가상 쉬었나이 다 텔라 닝기 기텔라 되네 다 책게 기바 용맥 책 기바 나이 디가나 되네 메토 남아히 다 빼만 남아세네 메토 남아히 디가나다 넘버 히비 오 대 갈세나 되네 되게 최종이야 때마점 딘리지 요레스.
Then at the heart level, there is a ledge that is similar to a bamboo reed. And so on that is a 4-petaled red lotus. And on top of that is the essence of your own consciousness appearing as a bindu, a red sphere the size of a pea.
어디가 나기더니 다 대양 가상 휴가 나기더니 양 거랑 넘버 히비 고 다 되게 말보 대양더니 nombo 임바 양보 임바 아직다 가서 팔라키 바송도 딘리지 임바지 공고래 스타 넘버 히비 고.
And then, as you mentioned yesterday, the essence of one's consciousness appearing as this red sphere, this red bindu, is light and vibrating and on the verge of flying up.
어다 뒤에 다 가장 뒤에 들려다 가서 지단다 포와장 들이다 가서지. 되레 루셈 현지 있어나지. 루세야지 제가 셈스야지 니요와. 진디고 루테고 네캅 그가나다 마토베게 고 어서 루니 샤네 루니네 마 통와로와 남힌 롬보 중데 남힌 롬보 나기데 나치로 통고와 다다 통에 이렇게 탑로데 같이 그열라비나다 예당가서 단다 대용도와 포와 세양로 딱냐만로나 총juk 세야데 총juk 세야데 고무치 니나나 갑도 코랑 니 남가 니 요사로와 인다 단단가서 대 값서 비냠네 치야 요와데 갈세나 총juk 담바 세야데스.
And so when we train in the poem, we are separating, we're training to separate the mind from the body. So now temporarily the mind and the body are together, but there is a time when the guest will leave the guest house, when the consciousness will leave from the body. And so the Phowa instructions are a kind of a method of how to leave the body. And there are instructions that are called like entering a consciousness, leaving and entering a corpse. And so the instructions come from this body of teachings.
Okay, so do you have some questions for according to the central channel or?
Is there when we do the 7 heats with the central channel, is there particular spots where it stops? Like for example, like this stuff at the throat, at, you know, the level of the mouth, or it's just kind of like general 7 upward movements, or is there specific 7 places?
Right. So first, maybe first you measurement, and then divide by 7.
Clear?
They each, hey, so.
Simple answer.
Huh?
Simple question, simple answer.
So no, they don't work. So just basically not much focus, you know. So there's so because this visualization is the, you know, one mind, right? So this you cannot visualize, you know, 2 different same time. So but mainly it's just kind of or just kind of like thinking up and up, not much, you know, where, so, but you kind of as much as possible up, you know, sometimes. And the last important part is just the consciousness hit the, double straw, right?
Okay, there's one question on the Zoom. Maybe Ina can read it, please.
Is the bindu the same as the white and red drops that unite in the heart chakra at the time of death? The chiva kapla teni tigle kapo da mabu ninkala togu yusari. Tini tanara ngaso tigle kometi tan ti tigle di chiva kapla ninka tila yoro chikparave.
리틀리 찍바리 당가서 대용도와 아저 히차비 네카라 근데 지 대송구도 안가서다 나와 대가리 아피리 나와 깔람 당테네 나와 말람 당 나와 대다 나글람 시하그레스 칸디스 시하그레 랍드 다 단단다오이나 ngaso ji mahibe kabla tene phai keta energy laguna thilete ngaso ta theliyorwa ji tinga to that many can dondolorwa or telayore tanda sanji can zofundowa or teleyorwa teledegiyores tene ta mic nu pasenari telanga to tawa la degiyores ti indi tene 다 support koranta tambodi support ko functioning yorwa te yobe kabla tindi stati support dissolve chabe kabla ta kharchala lamsang korante te thile karwo mar nyinkala yungdu 다 나와트네 칼람 샤그레스 테네 틀레 마르워데 테네 마이틀데 야 람상 때와니야 인칼란도 그레스 티가라 나와트 말람 샤그레스 테네 틀레 카르마니 하르카블라 테네 남히데 통베 kabla 나글람 샤그레스 에와다 틀레데 단다디 consciousness 디 공오트 가라레스
So it is the same bindu, the same sphere. It's like an energetic sphere. When we die, there are certain levels of dissolution where we experience visions of whiteness, of redness, and blackness. When we are alive and we are not yet dead, then the energetic, the energy force of our father as in the form of a white bindu that dwells between our 2 eyes, the point between the eyebrows, right here, and the energy of our mothers abides in the navel area chakra. And so that is for as long as the body is functioning. Then when the body dies and it goes through dissolution, the white drop from above descends down to the heart. And this is when we experience whiteness. And then the red drop from our mother, the essence, goes up, ascends to the heart from the navel. And during that time, we experience redness. And then the white and the red drops meet at the heart where they merge. And then one loses consciousness and experiences blackness. But yes, the essence of this sphere, this energetic sphere, is always the same. It's your consciousness.
Mm-hmm. No question. Okay. So now we do first Tibet. So page 3. These two. So if you don't have the text, so one more text here. Page 3. Jen ben ma ju ne la sorwa de sa la po wa jong ba chen je lo nya la po ve ka ju du ba chen je lo da so de ne chen bu chur ma da a de wa jen de je wa chen je lo san je wo ba me la chang ze lo Drikung Phowa Sanje la Sorwa de Salang Phowa Jongbar Chinje lo Nyalang Pove Kajo Dobar Chinje lo Da Son de Ne Tsenpu Churma da Adewa Jente Jewa Chinje lo Sanje Wopa Mila Changze lo Antung mi nam ga jiang chen la surwa de sang lang po wa jong ba de jin je lo Anyang lang po vi ka chu du ba de jin je lo Da so de ne chen bu chung ma da A jen de je wa de jin je lo Sang je wo ba me la jiang ze lo Adong de singa ba ra la sorwa de sa la po wa jong ba ra jin je lo Anyang la po vi ka ju du ba ra jin je lo Da so de ne chen bu chur ma da A de wa jin de je wa ra jin je lo San je wo ba me la chang ze lo Pa go ti mi lo do la sorwa de san lang po wa jong ba le jin je lo Anyang lang po vi ka ju du ba le jin je lo Da son de ne chen bu chur ma da De wa jian de je wa le jin je lo San je wo pa mi la chang ze lo La surwa de wa jong wa de jin je lo Anyang lang po ve ka chu du ba re jin je lo Da son de ne chen bu chur ma da A de wa jian de je wa re jin je lo San je wo pa mi la chang ze lo Antung mi ma din chen chen la sorwa de sang lang po wa jong ba re chen je lo Anyalam Povi Kachu Drupara Chinje Lo Daso Dene Tempu Churmada Ajende Jewara Chinje Lo Sanje Waba Mila Chanze Lo Yongze Punso Nanjala Surwa De Salam Powan Jumbara Chinje Lo Anyalam Povi Kachu Drupara Chinje Lo Daso Dene Tempu Churmada Adewa Jende Jewara Chinje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Ankenje Nanjong Punso La Surwa De Salam Powan Jumbara Chinje Lo Nyalam Povi Kachu Drupara Chinje Lo Daso Dene Tempu Churmada Adewa Jende Jewara Chinje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Ajete Konjo Rena La Surwa De Salam Powan Jumbara Chinje Lo Amboven Kachu Drupara Chinje Lo Daso Dene Tempu Churmada Adewa Jende Jewara Chinje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Rinze Chuje Tawpa La Surwa De Salam Powan Jumbara Chinje Lo Anyalam Povi Kachu Drupara Chinje Lo Daso Dene Tempu Churmada Adewa Jende Jewara Chinje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Guanchon Thinley Namjara La Surwa De Salam Powan Jumbara Chinje Lo Nyalam Povi Kachu Drupara Chinje Lo Daso Dene Tempu Churmada Adewa Jende Jewara Chinje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Antile Sombo La Surwa De Salam Powan Jumbara Chinje Lo Anyalam Povi Kachu Drupara Chinje Lo Daso Dene Tempu Churmada Adewa Jende Jewara Chinje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Antile Tondo Chujara La Surwa De Salam Powan Jumbara Chinje Lo Anyalam Povi Kachu Drupara Chinje Lo Daso Dene Tempu Churmada Adewa Jende Jewara Chinje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Guancho Denzen Zhonde La Surwa De Salam Powan Jumbara Chinje Lo Anyalam Povi Kachu Drupara Chinje Lo Daso Dene Tempu Churmada Dewa Jende Jewara Chinje Woba Mila Changze Lo Yongze Chuje Janzang La Surwa De Salam Powan Jumbara Chinje Lo Anyalam Povi Kachu Drupara Chinje Lo Daso Dene Tempu Churmada Adewa Jende Jewara Chinje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Adenze Chuje Nyingma La Surwa De Salam Powan Jumbara Chinje Lo Nyalam Povi Kachu Drupara Chinje Lo Daso Dene Tempu Churmada Dewa Jende Jewara Chenje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Chada Bimi Janten Lo Surwa De Salam Powan Jongbara Chenje Lo Boven Kaju Dubara Chenje Lo Da Son Dene Tempe Churma Da Dewa Jende Jewara Chenje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Chante Nongzo La Surwan De Salam Powa Jongbara Chenje Lo Anyalam Povi Kaju Dubara Chenje Lo Daso Dene Tempe Churma Da Dewa Jende Jewara Chenje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Kenchen Changchub Bola Surwa De Salam Powan Jongbara Chenje Lo Ampoven Kaju Dubara Chenje Lo Daso Dene Tempe Churma Da Dewa Jende Jewara Chenje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Teje Lo Du Janten La Surwan De Salam Powan Jongbara Chenje Lo Anyalam Povi Kaju Dubara Chenje Lo Daso Dene Tempe Churma Da Jende Jewara Chenje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Denbin Zeyen La Surwan De Salam Powan Jongbara Chenje Lo Anyalam Povi Kaju Dubara Chenje Lo Daso Dene Tempe Churma Da Dewa Jende Jewara Chenje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Gongcho Tuji Nima Surwan De Salam Powan Jongbara Chenje Lo Anyalam Povi Kaju Dubara Chenje Lo Daso Dene Tempe Churma Da Dewa Jende Jewara Chenje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Awara Jen Nuden Dora Je La Surwan De Salam Powan Jongbara Chenje Lo Ampoven Kaju Dubara Chenje Lo Daso Dene Tempe Churma Da Dewa Jende Jewara Chenje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Jete Gongcho Chucha La Surwan De Salam Powan Jongbara Chenje Lo Anyalam Povi Kaju Dubara Chenje Lo Daso Dene Tempe Churma Da Dewa Jende Jewara Chenje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Dencho Chuje Lo Du La Surwan De Salam Powan Jongbara Bhavin Kaju Dubara Chenje Lo Daso Dene Tempe Churma Da Dewa Jende Jewara Chenje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Changze Lo Ataden Shivi Lo Do La Surwan De Salam Powan Jongbara Chenje Lo Ampoven Kaju Dubara Chenje Lo Daso Dene Tempe Churma Da Adewa jende jewara chenje lo sanje woba mela chonza lo Jinjune la sorwa de salam powa jumbara chenje lo Anyalam bove kaju dubara chenje lo daso dene tembu churmanda Adewa jende jewara chenje lo sanje woba mela chonze lo Attention Zavi Lama La Sowan De Salam Boa Jumbara Chinje Lo Anyang Lam Bhavin Kaju Dobara Chinje Lo Daso Dene Tembu Jurmanda Ende Jewara Chinje Lo Sanje Woba Mila Chonza Lo. So now you visualize center channel and also this the bindu. So also sit kind of straight in spine. So first I say one time, and then after that, so we 6 times together. Or sometimes you put the hand, put your knee. It's okay. Yeah. So are you now able to see the center channel? And the bindu? Your top, your visualize Amitabha, right? Amitabha, and you block the center channel. Amitabha's toe blocks your center channel. Hug, 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 hug. Hug, 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 hug. Okay, so page 90, I think now it's English. This short lineage pair. Melody, yes.
Once again, page 19. To organ Pema June, I pray, bless me to train in a profound Phowa path. Bless me to reach your arms through Phowa's swift path. In the exact moment that myself and all others pass from this life, please grant your blessings that we all may be reborn in Dewa. To the Buddha Amitabha I prostrate. To Tetonida Sanje I pray. To Tsune Namka Gyaltsen I pray. To Toden Samabhadra I pray. To Pagodri Melodro I pray. To Chuje Sanje Gyaltsen I pray. To Tsume Madin Sechen I pray. To Yojin Punso Nam Gyal I pray. To Genjen Nam Jom Putsong I pray. To Jetsun Gongjo Ratna I pray. To Rizin Jogi Drapa I pray. To Gojo Jin Le Nam Gyal I pray. To Gojo Jin Le Zampo I pray. To Jin Le Don Jo Jo Gyal I pray. To Gojo Tenzin Jo Dul I pray. To Yojin Choki Gyal Tsen I pray. To Tenzin Choki Nima I pray. To Gyab Dam Pe Me Gyal Tsen I pray. To Jetsun Dharma Donza I pray. To Garjen Changchub Wampo I pray. To Chijen Lojo Gyal Tsen I pray. To Ling Chen Din Bin Zejen I pray. To Gongcho Tu Jin Yima I pray. To Organ Nuden Doje I pray. To Jetsu Gongcho Choja I pray. To Dren Chochu Gilojo I pray. To Tenshi Vilojo I pray. To Mejo Gijune I pray. To my kind root Lama I pray. Bless me to train in the profound Phowa path. Bless me to reach endurance through Phowa's swift path. In the exact moment that myself and all others pass from this life, please grant your blessings, that we all may be reborn in Dewa. To the Buddha Amitabha I prostrate.
Okay, so we visually again, so we can sum around. Right. Hug, 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 hug. Okay, so so now short dedication.
Small book, page 7. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind root and lineage lamas, divine assembly of Yidams and assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Yogins, Yoginis, and Dakinis dwelling in the 10 directions, please hear my prayer. May the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all sentient beings in samsara and nirvana, and the innate root of virtue, not result in the 8 worldly concerns, the 4 causes of samsara, or rebirth as a Shravaka or Pratyeka Buddha. May all mothers, sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me and mine, obstructors who harm, misleading Maras, and the hordes of demons, experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May attachment to fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise even at the time of my death. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind as such, and the pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in a bardo.
Lunch break here, so can see you 2 o'clock.